Welcome to the AI Queens podcast, the show where women entrepreneurs learn to ditch the overwhelm, embrace AI, and build businesses fit for royalty. I'm Erika Stanley, your host and tech expert, here to deliver tools, tips, and actionable strategies to help you scale smarter. Let's get to it. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us, Queens. Today, I have a very special guest. We are talking to Janay Trevillion, who is a AI educator and travel curator. And I am so excited. She and I have had an amazing conversation, and I just cannot wait to share it with you. Folks, welcome, Janay.
Hi, everybody. Hi. So happy to be on here with you today, Erica. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much for coming. I am so excited. You actually reached out to me. Tell us a little bit about how you found AI Queens, because I think it's such a cool story.
Yes, this is the coolest story ever. So, I was on a quest to find podcasters to guest on, and I was like, I'm having a hard time just manually searching for this. So, I created a Claude skill. And once I put in what I was looking for and the type of podcast I wanted to join, you came up like number 1, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, I went to your profile on Instagram, I found you on LinkedIn, and I scheduled a coffee chat because I was just like, "Yeah, I wanna be on her podcast," but the coolest thing is that Claude found all of that for me.
I love that. And I just I want to ask, because I feel like most people would have just Googled it. What made you go and to the effort of creating a Claude skill for this, or just going to AI in the first place?
Because I know you can just Google it, but that's doing like one person or one thing at a time. And I wanted a long list that I could just go through and do my outreach. And I knew Claude would be able to get that done for me. And that's how I like to use AI.
That's awesome. So speaking of how you use I know that you are a corporate travel expert. You work for one of the biggest names in the industry. So that's your day job. But by night, you're running an AI community and you're using vibe coding tools and you're doing so many cool things. How do those two worlds kind of work together?
Yeah, so they work together for me because I'm able to create tools and processes that make my day job a little easier, especially like when I'm dealing with people's tickets or even finding great hotels. Just having AI in the back burner of that has been able to make my job a lot more efficient.
That's awesome. You told me a story about how within the system you use called GDS, I guess. It's like you guys what Janae has access to is so much better than the like Google Flights that I typically use or Expedia, but you have access to a special system and you will occasionally get errors that pop up and you're actually using AI to kind of troubleshoot those yourself?
Yes, yes. So in the past, when we've gotten errors, which happen often, it's a very old system we use. It's called the global distribution system. And in the past, we've had to wait for tech to come in to assist, and it could take hours. And sometimes people need to leave ASAP. So being able to use AI to help me with those errors has expedited not only getting the client out in an efficient and helpful manner, it's also been able to save me from creating a bunch of tech tickets, which a tech team is only so big. And like I said, it could take hours. And if someone needs to leave, they want their ticket fixed.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you're using AI to kind of help troubleshoot things. You obviously don't work solo. You work on a team. How does the rest of the team use AI? Are they using AI?
Yeah, so some of us on the team are using AI, especially with the AI assist we have in our corporate space, but there is a great deal of people who are still not using AI and they're really reluctant to get into using AI, and that it's kind of like a mixed bag in the corporate world.
Why do you think that is?
I think a lot of it has to do there's a lot of different reasons. I think one of the biggest reasons is that people are generally concerned about environmental issues that come with using AI. And I think that is one of the main drivers of a lot of people's hesitation is that what is this going to look like in 10 years for our environment?
Okay. Yeah. I I know that that's a huge concern with a lot of people I talk to as well. It's tough because I talk about in my podcast a little bit, like data centers are not new. They didn't just arrive poof with AI. But we are hearing a lot more about them, and we do have to reckon with the fact that our like as a society, our general tech usage has
Yeah.
grown. Like, I know I'm on my computer more, I'm on my phone more, we're streaming TV. Like, my husband and I, we don't have traditional cable. We use a streaming service, and I feel like a lot of people are there too, and that's so much more data intensive than just, like, a regular cable, like cable TV into the back of your television set. God, I sound a million years old. I just called it a television set.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm right on the cusp of Gen X and elder millennial, so but we're seeing news right now where there's communities who are fighting against having data centers built in their communities. People who are seeing their electric bills go up by 2 and 3 times, and I I know that, like, this is a conversation we have to have. Like,
Yeah.
we're using AI. It is helping. So the example you gave of you being able to solve that problem in minutes compared to the hours if you had put in an official support ticket, had to go to the tech team, then they have to troubleshoot it. They have to go back through your entire conversation, see how the error message was generated, what were you doing at the time, what was the person needing that caused the error message. And they have to go through all of that, and instead you were able to solve it in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the trade-off of using AI, and then there are these real costs of the data centers. You were telling me about your parents. You're in Atlanta, right? Like, you're outside of or in or outside of Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm right outside of Atlanta, and my parents live in a really rural area, also outside of Atlanta. And they're already building a lot of data centers, and they were going to put another one up. And the community stood up. They went to town meetings, and they eventually rejected that data center. And I had a conversation with my father the other day, and he was saying how expensive his electric bill has gotten. You have to have those conversations with people because those are real concerns, especially with our environment. We only have one planet, right? So
Yeah.
those are conversations that I think are important to have. And I try to be I try to look at both sides when I speak with people about it because I do understand the concern.
So tell me a little bit about your community. Who are you talking to? Who are you working with outside of your corporate gig?
Yes. So outside of my corporate gig, my community is Empire Creator Lab, and it's for solo entrepreneurs that are looking to scale their business or get started with their business using AI. And I really try to focus on finishing. Like, I find when I speak with a lot of solo entrepreneurs, a lot of them are stuck in idea mode or information mode.
Mm.
And we never actually get anything done. We have all these ideas, we get started, and due to imposter syndrome or whatever else is going on, we just never actually finish anything. And that is my biggest focus with my community.
Oh my gosh, I I love that. I am super guilty of that. I have a ton of ideas just in Claude, just sitting in that left-hand sidebar of, like, idea, 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 all the things that I thought were amazing and just took it like 80% of the way there and then never implemented. How are you helping to push people along?
I'm helping people to push along by I'll have conversations with them. I'm big on conversations. I'll have individual conversations with them. I just had a 15-minute meeting with one of my community members because I really want to help people just finish. I know what it's like. I was in that space last year where I just was doing things. I was learning, which learning is always good, but at some point you have to actually implement what you learned, and doing it scared, doing it nervous. Like I try to feed pour into them that do it anyway. Like the first time I did a summit, I was so nervous, and now I've done over like 10 summits, and just do it anyway. Do it scared.
Yeah, I run into that as well, where it is perfectionism and procrastination. And I feel like this is something I hear about from so many women where it's like, "Oh, it's not ready. Oh, I don't know enough. I need to keep learning. I need to keep tinkering. Like it's not perfect."
Yeah.
And we get in this mode of like, I don't want to put something out into the world unless it is completely perfect.
Right.
And
Right.
there is no such thing as perfect.
Yeah.
We will if I waited until something was 100% perfect to put it out into the world, I would never put anything out. I would
Yeah.
never ship anything. I feel like it's like a blessing and a curse for people with like like when you're in that entrepreneurship mindset, like you want it to be really good, but also I at least I allow myself to kind of get in my own way to hold myself back because I feel like I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I've had guests on the podcast who have noticed the same thing about women in the AI space. I think AI is particularly like prone to this because there's always more to learn. There's
Yeah.
always new models. Oh my gosh, did you have a chance to play with Fable 5 over the weekend?
I did, and I made so many things, and I'm just so excited. Like one thing I made yesterday, I'm just like, this is perfect. Like I'm
Me
so
too, me
excited.
too. But there's always going to be another model. There's always something for us to learn and we can't be afraid of putting ourselves out there
Yeah.
because we feel like there's more to learn. I'm not
Yeah.
ready. I don't know it all. We're never gonna know it all because there's always gonna be more models coming out.
Yeah. And that's with anything. Like there's always going to be version 2, version 3, version 4, and you'll never get any feedback if you don't put anything out. Like if you just keep it to yourself, then only you will know about it, and you'll never know if what you need to improve anyway. So that's why I tell people just put it out there.
That's so true, and I think about, like, our iPhones, our phones. They're shipping updates all the time. Like, we get a
Yeah.
new OS, and then 2 days later, they're like, "Oh, we patched that bug, we fixed that thing." Like, if Apple, one of the biggest companies in the world, can ship stuff that's not 100% perfect and be totally okay with it, like, "Oh, we updated this. Oh, we learned something new. Here we go."
Yeah.
We have to be okay with it too because we don't have Apple kinds of resources.
Right, exactly, exactly. And look how many versions of something that'll come out. That's what it's there for. Like we took some feedback and we made updates in version 5.
Yep, yep. So true, so true. So, I mentioned Fable 5, you mentioned Fable 5. I love this idea that there are more and more women, people in underrepresented communities who are building things, and not just building apps, building things with AI, but actually building rooms. Because I talk about like we don't need to wait for a seat at the table. We can build our own table. We can build our own rooms. And that's what you're doing with the community. So tell me about what you're building and why.
Yeah, so my biggest mission is to bring more unrepresented communities in a space where they can grow. I feel like every time something new comes out, the consequences of our community is that we're not there. We're not there at the beginning. We don't have a voice, we don't have a perspective involved. And that's my main mission is I just want more underrepresented women, black and brown people, queer people, just people that are not at the don't have a voice at the table to build your own table and stay on top of it, because if you don't put your voice into something, it's going to be erased. And I just feel like that is so important to me.
Do you feel like with AI, the urgency is there now more than ever?
I do. I do. I Because I do feel like if you don't train AI on your voice or yourself, it's gonna flatten it. And I feel like in past in past waves of technology or anything, there's only been a certain voice out there. And women need to be heard. Our perspective is important. Black and brown people, our perspective is important. And every type of that's what makes a whole, right? You have different voices leading the conversation and not just one voice leading the conversation. And I feel like it's very urgent because AI is moving so fast. AI is moving like, oh my gosh. Have you ever used Claude and there's just been like update after update? Like you're just
Yep.
sitting there and it's like relaunch the update. That's how fast AI is moving. There's literally stuff, it seems like every hour. So it's extremely important. It's urgent, like now.
Yeah. I read an article over the weekend. I feel like it was either INC or Atlantic, where they were talking about actually up to 55% of the jobs that were canceled or that were, yeah, canceled because of AI. Now those CEOs are regretting those firings and thinking of hiring people back. But they're not hiring those individual people back. They're going to hire back for the jobs that still need to be done. So there's people that are getting kind of pushed aside and people that are going to be able to come in and I hate to use the word replace, but it kind of is replace.
Mm.
And if you have a CEO who just laid off a bunch of people because, oh, we're going to replace this with AI. So now all those people are out trying to find jobs in the workforce. And then that CEO has second thoughts and like, maybe we should rehire some people back. It's not the same, like Alex got laid off and now Alex is going to be brought back. Like
No.
they're going to look for somebody who can do that job who has AI experience
Absolutely. Yeah.
because the CEO identified that this job could be made more efficient with AI.
Mm.
They just didn't have the groundwork before they made those layoffs. So I feel like we all, when you talk about your dad being hesitant, my mom, I've tried to teach her and get her up on learning AI. I am a mentor at the local university here, and I've tried to get as many students as I can learning how to use AI in a like business forward way, not just like chatting back and forth with it or,
Yeah.
getting it to proofread their final project. But like, how are you going to use it for business? I feel like knowing how to use it in a strategic way for business purposes is going to be more and more important. It's going to be something that companies look for on resumes.
Yeah.
So even that like baseline knowledge that you're teaching in your community, whether it's entrepreneurs or people looking for jobs, like those are going to be important skills as
Yeah.
people move forward from now through forever until we figure out what work looks like after AI takes over everything.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree because we're still not at a point where AI can just replace humans. So you laid off 10,000 people and you realize, well, I need somebody to train AI, but they're only going to hire back maybe a fourth of that. And it's going to be the people that know at least the basics on how to use AI efficiently to help a business or your own business go forward. So you're absolutely right. They're not going to hire back the 10,000 people. They're going to find those people that can do those jobs in conjunction with AI.
Yeah. Is that something that you advocate for in your community? Like learn it, do it, get in
Yeah.
there. How are you finding people are are they receptive? Are they pushing back?
Well, a lot of the people in my community, they are receptive to learning it. I think that it's so much that sometimes they feel like, okay, this is like over my head, or I don't have enough time to learn all these things. And I try to tell them, just pick one thing. You don't have to learn it all overnight, but pick one thing and try to focus on that. Even if you give yourself 90 days, I'm going to focus on this, set some time aside because you can't learn it all.
Yeah.
Nobody can learn it all, but pick one thing that's going to be your focus and try to learn that, especially if it's something to do with your actual job. So when as they start scaling down, you stand a chance.
Yeah. So if somebody came to you and said, "Hey, I wanna get started. I don't know where to start." What what advice would you give to someone who's been hesitant up till now? They came to your community.
I would tell them without a doubt, learn prompt design or prompt engineering. It's super important. And that is the basics of talking to AI is learning how to prompt. That will take you from getting output that's chaotic or crazy or doesn't sound like you to actually communicating with AI that's a is a way that in a way that works for you, that you feel like, okay, this is giving me stuff back that I can use. Because I know when I first started, I was prompting crazy and then I would put it down 'cause I'm like, this I don't know what this thing is talking about.
Yeah.
So I would tell someone, learn to prompt first.
And what resources would you recommend for that type of information?
Yeah, so there's a lot of prompt design classes, but like Anthropic, OpenAI, they have so many just resources to learn to prompt first. I have a beginner prompting class in my community. There's a lot of different resources out there. Just learn to prompt. I have a book, How to Talk to Chatty Like a Baddie, where I teach how to
I love
how
that.
to prompt. Thank you. Thank you. It's just it's a beginner's guide on how to talk to AI so it actually works for you.
I love that. Talking to AI is completely different than, for example, asking something in a Google search.
Yeah.
Or if you were talking to a coworker, the way that you phrase things, I have found, and I've been working with generative AI pretty much since the month they launched ChatGPT. And I have gotten better over time. And I've realized that I don't even have to think about how I phrase things in a prompt now. I go back and I look at my initial prompts within conversations like, oh, I'm putting things in a specific framework without even thinking about it
Yeah.
anymore. It just becomes second nature, like, oh, I know I'm going to need to give it these specific pieces of information.
Yeah. I totally agree. And I tell people all the time, the biggest thing for me is context and boundaries. If you give it a lot of context, then it can work for you. A lot of times I see people prompt to be like, help me write a IG caption. And that's it. Like, and it's like, about what?
Yep,
What
yep.
do you not want it to do? What do you want it to, how do you want it to format? How's your tone? So all that's important when you first learn to communicate with AI. Otherwise, you will get back generic off-brand things.
Yeah. What people are calling AI slop now.
Yes.
Yep. And the slop, I mean, we see it in images, but we also, I mean, it's becoming very, very apparent in writing. And so that extra, the context, it knowing your brand,
Hmm.
knowing what your business is all about, how you talk, your like specific unique word library, words and phrases that only you use, that you use when you talk. What about you is your differentiator? Like, why would people come and work with you, work for you? That's like, how do you do things that are different than the dozens of other people that do the exact same thing that you do?
Right.
I the hill that you die on, right? Like, what's your big soapbox within your industry? So there's like all these little things that play into the background context information that you feed into whatever model you're using, that it can then like learn and understand about you so that your outputs are much more unique, they're stronger, they're more on brand, and you're having to do less rewriting after the fact. I I do that for my clients. I have this thing called the brand to bot blueprint where I work with them. I learn all about their business and then I put together this blueprint which includes information on their brand, those differentiators, what really makes them special, the internal systems that could really be outsourced in their business, either outsourced to AI or outsourced to an assistant, to another agency, that type of thing. Like, what are the things in your business that are really pulling you away from the things that you love to do in your business? those
Mm,
types of systems. And then the external visibility. So, what is your specific genius, your secret sauce? And how do we use AI to amplify that
yes.
and get that out so that you're actually visible and seen
Yeah.
to the people that want to find you, like the way you were able to find me by using Claude. It just
Yes,
came full
yes,
circle.
yes,
Um,
yes.
but but yeah, it's those those specific like key things I have found are really, really important for businesses who want to be using AI. They're actually important for businesses who don't want to be using AI either. AI is just my particular brand of helping people, but like that's what I found really makes the difference. I had a client I worked with recently who is a ghostwriter. He is nonfiction. He's a phenomenal writer, very, very good with words. And the bot that I created for him, it does not write for him. That's not what he needs. He does not need help writing. What he needed help with is taking these big, long articles that he was writing and framing them in a way that is going to specifically speak to his target audience, like the person he's trying to bring in a LinkedIn friendly format.
Ooh,
So the bot that I created, like he puts in the whole article and then it
yeah,
gives him 3 different angles that he can use to write his LinkedIn post. And then he can
yeah,
put that LinkedIn post back in the bot and it will tell him like, yes or no, you can tweak this, or yeah, that sounds great. Let's change this one little thing over here. But he didn't need help with the writing, so that's not what I built for him.
right,
He
right.
needed help with the marketing piece
Yeah,
and the positioning piece. So it's so custom what you can create. And I think that's one of the coolest things about AI. And I love that you're teaching that within your community is like don't just ask the bare bones questions.
yes,
Frame it in a way that is specific for you, for your business, your goals, your audience, all of that plays into context. And I have found that's a huge unlock for people. When they finally start doing that, it's like something clicks like, oh, yes, now I'm getting stuff out of AI that actually sounds good.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. All of that because I think a lot of passionate entrepreneurs, we don't need help with the core, right? We already
Mhm.
have our human expertise,
Yeah.
but it's the marketing, it's the repurposing, it's all the other little mechanics that kind of would push your business forward. Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs, they can talk about their passion and what they love all day long. They can
Oh,
write
yeah. Oh,
about it,
yeah.
all that stuff, but it's the dealing with the social media, the emails and things like that. So I that's what you're supposed to use AI for, to amplify your human experience.
Yes, yes. Love that so much. All right, Janae, if people want to find you, work with you, explore and kind of learn more about your community, where can they go to do that?
Yeah, so my community's on School. That's SKOOL. It's called Empire Creator Lab. And you can go to my website, empirebyjanae.com. And I'm always on Substack, The Curated Life with Jazzy.
Awesome. And folks, I will put all of those links in the show notes so that you can go directly to Janae's community. And if you are interested in working with me, if that brand to bot blueprint sounded like something that you would be interested in, you guys know where to find me. I'm at aiqueens.com/blueprint if you want to go straight there, or if you just want to learn about me, I'm at Erika the AI Queen on Instagram. That's Erika with a K, the AI Queen on Instagram. Janae, thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time, for sharing your community and your mission and your stories with us. I've really enjoyed our conversation and I cannot wait to stay connected with you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on here. Thank you again.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Queens, for joining us, and we will see you again next week. Thanks for listening to the AI Queens podcast. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow queen who needs to hear this. Want more tools and tips? Join the AI Queens Society over at aiqueens.com and start ruling your business with confidence today. Until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and keep reigning with AI.